Ну що, будемо перевіряти зборки сьогодні. Зборки і хотілося б перевірити АІМ асіст. АІМ асіст від одного блогера. Будемо пробувати.
Всем привет, ребят! Третий сезон продолжается. Мы получили замечательный ремонт. Постоянно за вами что-то сидеть и додумывать. Или шоу загадка. Угадайте загадку, блядь. Ну серьезно, что ли? Ну сколько можно уже? Даже на следующий... One that set to 0, you don't want any type of delay when we're sprinting here. These are all default here. Crouch toggle sprint, that's all default. You guys can, change it if you want. The only thing I did change from here is by default, the ADS and fire button are down to the back buttons by default. I just switched them around because I feel like I just went so comfortable. Scrolling down the steady scope, this is one I did change. I changed it to L3, so all I have to do is ADS, and then if I'm using a sniper rifle, it's automatically to steady scope. Infantry zoom sensitivity. This is another one that I changed that I feel like is very, very important. I had this at 80 by default. These are all at 100. I just put them down to 80, so all I can do is hit your ADS button. It's perfect. You can adjust, really adjust as needed. This number. It's already started. Here, we gotta turn on this draw tool here. This draw tool is actually new. It's gonna make gunfights. You can't seem to find the settings that are comfortable with you. This video fixes that. In today's video, we go over dead zones in detail, how to find your perfect sensitivity, and if you guys become better players. There will be timestamps in the video, so if you actually want to include a skip, feel free to do that, but I highly suggest you guys watch the video all the way through. Now let's jump into the settings. We might kind of skip around a little bit, but there is a reason for that, I promise you guys. The first thing we're going to go over is probably one of the most important things you can change on your controller. It's either going to make your controller feel either super responsive or super sluggish, and that's going to be dead zones. All right, now jumping in first thing, we're going to go to controller here and go to edit settings. First thing is going to be controller tuning. I'm going to scroll down all the...
Куда він зайшов сюди?
Well, over here, the default controller settings in Battlefield 6 are actively sabotaging your aim. Advantage. Search YouTube and you'll find thousands of settings guides. But here's why this one is different. Since the release of Battlefield 6, I have spent more... In today's video, we go... I hope you guys are having a fantastic... Suggest you guys scroll down all the way over here to where it says... It's either going to make your controller feel either super responsive or super sluggish, and that's going to be dead zones. All right, now jumping in first thing, I'm going to go to controller here and go to edit settings. First thing is going to be controller tuning. I'm going to scroll down all the way over here to where it says controller left stick, controller right stick, dead zone.
Контроль тюнінг. Вібрацію ми не будемо робити. Йдемо на лівий стік. Лівий стік у нас встановлено на 1,5. Далі йде 6. Далі йде 70.
Okay, scroll down a little bit actually, and we're going to turn on this draw tool here. Jumping in first thing, I'm going to go to scroll down a little bit actually, and we're going to...
Правий 1,5. Є. 6.
Turn on this draw tool here. This draw tool is actually new. It's going to make explaining the dead zones a little bit easier. All right, the first thing we're going to go over are what are dead zones. And the easiest way I like to explain this is how much tension you have to put on your stick before your stick actually starts to move. If you guys are a little bit confused, don't worry. I'm going to go into more detail here. So for example, center dead zone for my left stick, I put it all the way up to 99. So you can see the right stick here is at 1.5. With the 99 number, what that means is I'm going to have to put pretty much all the tension on my stick before my character starts to move. So if we jump into the firing range here, as you can see, the left side is all the way yellowed out and the right side is, clear in the middle. That's because, higher number on the left, lower number on the right. All right, so first thing, let's focus on this left side here. See how much tension it actually takes for it to move. Taking the camera here, as you can see, right there. Now it's starting to move. Dead zone is a lot lower on the right side. So again, the left side here, the character starts are and why they're super important for your controller to either feel really responsive or really sluggish. Go back into the controller tuning. And for the left and right stick, for the center dead zone, I want you guys to set it at 1.5, axial at 6, max threshold at 70. Same thing for the right stick. It's going to be the axial dead zone is going to be 6. With a max input of 100. Now I will say, if you put your center dead zones to 1.5, and you start taking stick drift, what stick drift is, if you're not touching control at all, your player starts to move on its own, you want to bump this number up until it stops, okay? Now if you go all the way up until it's like a 6 or like a 7, you might want to think about getting another controller if you care about that. If not, your controller's just not gonna really feel that responsive. Put it to 1.5. If your controller starts to move either left or right side, make adjustments. Go up to a 2. The main thing here is you want this number as low as possible before your controller starts to get stick drift. Before we move on, if you guys were able to understand that explanation of dead zones, consider liking the video. And also let me know down in the comments which about any type of delay when you're aiming, try to shooting, infantry, controller aim sensitivity. This setting is just gonna be when you're freely moving around the map. So I set everything to 0. All right, so now we're gonna back out of the controller tuning and we're gonna go to the infantry.
Infarnity. Заходимо звідси, заходимо Infarnity. Control setting.
Control settings here. The first one is gonna be infantry control.
45. 120. 56.
Aim sensitivity. This setting is just going to be when you're freely moving around the map. It's not when you're ADSing. This one is also very, very important along with your dead zones. If this number is too high, you're going to have terrible centering. Centering we'll go over later on in the video, but it's going to make you miss your shots like crazy. The higher the number, you might feel like you're moving around the map, crazy, but what it comes down to is hitting your shot. If this number is too high, you're going to miss shots. You don't want that. Set it at 45. I feel like it's perfect. You can adjust this one. This one you can freely adjust as needed. At the end of the video, I will show you guys how to find the perfect sensitivity, not only for this setting, but for your ADS setting. But for right now, set it to 45. Moving on to field of view, this one's personal preference. I go between 110 and 120. I wouldn't go any lower than 110. Everything's going to feel super zoomed in. So if it's at 120, you're going to have a wider field of view. If it's anything lower than that, it's going to be shrunken in. If you guys are playing on a TV, I wouldn't suggest you do a 120. This is going to be just like too much look at. So if you're not feel super zoomed in, so if it's at 120, you're going to have a wider field of view. If it's anything more than that, it's going to be shrunken in. If you guys are playing on a TV, I wouldn't suggest you do a 120. It's going to be just like too much to look at. So if you're on a TV, I suggest, probably 100 to 1.
100 до 110.
And would probably be the perfect spot, but like anywhere from 110 to 120 is going to be great. Vertical aim ratio, we're going to set this at 56. Going down, uniform infantry aiming. This one I see people go back and forth on. This one I just leave it on. I feel like everything feels smooth with this. Zoom sensitivity coefficient of 178. Infantry aim assist settings. I've seen a bunch of other controller settings videos where some people have this at 80 with the slowdown at 0. I've seen a bunch of crazy stuff. Just leave these both at 100. We want to have a max aim assist, so we don't want anything mess with that, so both of them matter. After that video, I switched to standard for a little piece. This is another one that I changed here. I changed standard. I think before I had like Battlefield 3. 4. Infantry stick input acceleration pre-pull. Super sluggish or super responsive. The lower the number, the more responsive your controller is going to feel. Because, the thumbsticks, the higher the number, 4. I change it to standard. It feels more consistent. This infantry aiming left or right acceleration. This is another one that's going to make your stick feel, super sluggish or super responsive. The lower the number, the more responsive your controller is going to feel. Because, the thumbsticks, the higher the number, the more sluggish it's going to feel. I have this down at 0. It feels really good, but it's, sometimes when I try to make like a micro adjustment, I feel like it's a little bit too sensitive. If I put this to 5, I think it's perfect. Put it at 5, try it out. All right, now moving on to the movement here. I'm going to quickly go over this. Some of these I didn't change their default. The ones that I did change, I will point out here. These first two don't apply to me because I do have this stick forward sprint on. What this is, all I have to do is push up on my thumbstick. My character is going to automatically start moving. Some people don't like it. Me, I like it. I feel like my controller feels so much. Some of these I didn't change their default. The ones that I did change, I will point out here. These first two don't apply to me because I do have this stick forward sprint on. What this is, all I have to do is push up on my thumbstick. My character is going to automatically start moving. Some people don't like it. Me, I like it. I feel like my controller feels so forward sprinting here. These are all default here. Crouch toggle sprint, there's all default. You guys can, change it if you want. The only thing I did change from here is by default. The ADS and fire button. Set to 0. You don't want any type of delay when we're sprinting here. These are default here. Crouch toggle sprint, there's all default. You guys can, change it if you want. The only thing I did change from here is by default, the ADS and fire button are bound to the back buttons by default. Me, I just switched them around. I feel like it's very, very important. I had that at 80 before. Or, what's good? By default, these are all at 100. I just put them down to 80, so that way it's have a little bit more control over, depending on which optic. Yeah, headline, it just makes it a little bit more precise. I just put them all at 80. Except for anything 5 times. Just a little bit quicker. Scrolling down, I think most of them is default here. I did change this to inter. I can set a reload. These are all pretty much just default except for the peak type. I have up only, so that way for down pound cover, all I can do is hit your ADS button. It's automatically going to jump up, ADS. You can let default except for the peak type. I have up only, so that way for down pound cover, all I can do is hit your ADS button. It's automatically going to jump up, ADS. You can let it go, it goes back down. I feel like, easier that way. And these are just default. All right, now jumping out of those settings, we're going to scroll down here to the infantry passenger control mapping. A lot of these are default. I will point out the ones that I did change here. I don't think I changed anything here. Let's go down, except for these two here. These two originally were bound to the back ones. I just put them to the, actually no. Here, like I said, I changed it from the back to the front. White pattern on that swipe pad. And then same thing for the squad project. I didn't really change any of these beginning to the ADS sensitivity. What we're going to do here is we're going to scroll. Okay, so.
Так, что-то есть. Давай на тренировке сейчас побачим, что мы там наклацали. Ну, блядь. Такое. Щось мені не нравиться трошки тут. Блять. Фу, блять. Все, погнали. Тепер нам треба настроїти пушку. Що в нас в меті? Абсолютно. Свій корт. Корт у нас, блядь. Це АРка, блядь. Корт. Давай пошукаємо. Блядь. М. 40 магазин. Ну, пока бы, ну, 415 что-то типа. Линейарком. Короче, давай как честно побегаем. Оставалось. Кто есть? Блять. Оставалось. Есть такая темка. Блядь, ну вона ж з цими очередями стріляє. Давай, найс, 20. У нас недоступно, блядь. Ох, баррел 6,8. Есть. 6,60. Вертикал. Сейчас у нас FMG патроны. ПВшка 5-3. Це в абсолют меті, тут же є. Десятка, девятка. Десятка, девятка. Але скорость мала. Мала скорость. ПВшка ще є. ПВшка. ПВ5-3. ПВ5. Стабилизируем, чтобы так, це ми настроїли. SGX настроєне. STV10 настроєне. І PV5A3, PV5 A3, PV5 A3. Беремо і настроїмо. 245 мм кастом. Не можемо. Ну, гуляється. Буде поки на цьому. 30-ка RDN. Дальше 1.75 зум. Ручка Classic Vertical. Мне еще надо дожить. Double port brake. Шаг. Блять. Ой, такі баді, що мені взяти? Я не хочу цей лошадки. Похуй, короче, пока буде так от. Це я кашник не зробив. Да. Можна попробувати. Мені кажется, той корт, це, блядь, повна шляпа. Ще. Да, що твориться. Где? Я не понял. Надо залетать туда, выше. Блять, сука. Они уебают, пидоры. А чё только 14 патронов, блядь? Они, сука, меня сейчас засекут, блядь. Та це пизда, блядь. Ты ёба нахуй. Пацаны, нема когось, блядь, патронів? Ебать, ну ты шо мне так робити? Там націю шляпа, блядь, походу. Давай того корда попробуем. Да ты, сука. Там блять, что это за хуйня, блять? Что это за пушка, ебать? Что, издеваетесь? Блять, полная шляпа тут. А, все, блядь, еще воно раз странно, блядь. У мене в ігрі сьогодні, блядь, ніхуя, як начебто не 120 FPS. Блядь, я ж цю кнопку єбучу переназначив, блядь. понял, что тут, блядь, вообще происходит. Ебаный снайпер, сука. Тихо, 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 блядь. Ёб твою ж мать. Что у вас здесь происходит, блядь? Офигеть. Что у нас тут? Сзади кто-то сбил. Як він заїбав, їбать. Я ж почав торта прокачати якось, блядь. Ах ты ж, сука. Ну, вот тут. Де він, сука? Боже ти, сука, хуяриш, підер, блядь. Тихо, тихо. Де ти, сука? Гандон, блядь. Бан, Тридцать. Кукушку глянул. Ты бачишь, это сука. Трещи, блядь. Ебать, а що в мене такі дрифти нахуй, чи що? Пиздец, диви. А, блядь, так пинг нахуй тут вообще, блядь. Алимый нахуй. Тихо, тихо. Блядь.
Fuck! Need a medic!
Не понял, а тут клас що, не можна поміняти? Чи?
Frag away!
Та я пішов в сраку. О, Бандера, ніхуя собі, я з тобою. Блять, яку хуй я класно можу поміняти. Короче, пизду цей ефір, блядь.